Enlightenment is life exactly how it is. Enlightenment isn't a path to something. Enlightenment isn't the fruition of something, the fruition of practice, the fruition of understanding. Enlightenment is life exactly as it is, without filters, without the lens of conditioned mind. So we don't achieve enlightenment. We just recognize that it is the case. It is already this way. This is such a paradox, and it really can set up a confusing situation for the mind. But ultimately, it has to be said. It has to be acknowledged, and it will be realized at some point. The obstructions to this are a handful. One is that we perceive ourselves to be on a path. We perceive ourselves to be even exercising volition on this path, choice, choosing what practices, choosing to inquire, and so forth. This seems to be happening. And so this can kind of set up a filter wherein we overlook this truth that enlightenment is already here. And that's actually turns out that's not a problem. The reason it isn't a problem is that even the apparent limited framework, the apparent path of the individual itself is all of life. It itself is enlightenment. Although when there's a perception or a perceiving apparatus that says one thing or one part is not the whole, because the lens of division is operating, then it can seem very contradictory to say that. But when seen from, let's just call it true perspective, it's obvious. True perspective is not a point of view. True perspective is seeing from the path and also seeing from the pathless, seeing from that which has no view, no position, no orientation, that which is all-encompassing, and also seeing in every direction. It's not something that we can frame with the mind, because the mind perceives this, what I'm talking about, seeing or view, it perceives it as a limitation or a fractionation of experience. But when the view is, let's just call it enlightened view or realized view, then the view is one that actually has no limitation at all. It's quite the opposite, in that it is distinctly unlimited. It's distinctly without fixation. Its very nature is non-fixation. Its very nature is without limit. And to experience reality from that, as that, is of course indescribable, is of course impossible to relate with a map, with a description. And yet from that realization, which is available to you, it's available to everyone, from that realization, it will be clear that even the experience of being limited, the experience of being separate, the experience of being on a path is none other than the pathless, is none other than the experienceless, is none other than the undivided, which doesn't have parts and doesn't have someone in it, someone apart from other ones. So you could say that to see from the limited point of view, the enlightened point of view, let's say, or the infinite view, seems so far off, seems so far away, seems impossible. But from the unlimited view, from the infinite view, from the unfixated view, all things are possible, including having a limited view, even though that seems, in one sense, impossible. And in one sense, it actually is impossible. And the unlimited view can even hold that impossibility. It can hold paradox. It can easily navigate paradox. In fact, paradox is kind of one of the basic flavors of realization, I think. I write about this in my book. There's an entire chapter on paradox, and there's a reason for that. And so all of this is paradoxical, and yet the paradox is perfectly functioning. The paradox is perfectly allowable. You can know both sides of this paradox simultaneously, easily, and hold both sides, but you hold it without hands. You hold it without a position. You hold it without holding. You hold it without being someone. And then this is all very clear. So don't fret if you're experiencing frustration. Don't fret if you're getting tied up in the mind. Don't fret if you're fretting. Don't fret if you can't figure out what to do with the message that says that any practice, any inquiry is just reinforcing the practitioner or the seeker. Don't worry about that. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with practice. There's nothing wrong with inquiry. And realization is also not free of causation. Let me say it differently. Realization is also not apart from causation. It's not where no causation exists. Realization has to include causality. Because it's free. It doesn't exclude anything. So if it excludes causality, that's not realization. So it's okay if the view at any given point is that practice leads to fruition. It's okay to have that view. And also, fruition is not a location. It's already here. It's in the practice itself. It's in the suffering, actually. So all of this, you could say in one sense, is sacred. You could say all of this is right on time. Nothing is misplaced. There are no errors. There are no problems with the realization or awakening process, even when there seem to be. The obstructions themselves are the portals. The fixations themselves are the catalysts for freedom, for non-fixation, for non-abiding.